Hello, my name is Frank Christensen and I'm the coordinator of officials for IFAF Europe. In this training tape, we're going to have a look at penalty enforcement and more specifically penalty enforcement speed. So we want to be fairly quick and efficient about this while still getting it right. But we'll have a look at some examples of how we can speed up the process and still do it so that it looks good and we end up with the right result. But before we get there, let's have a look at what the MOFO says and how that can help us on the field.
In the MOFO, we go to section 19.3 and 19.4, which has a whole section dealing only with penalty enforcement and that procedure. I'll only highlight a few sections here. For the referee, while the umpire or center judge is enforcing the penalty, move to a position in clear view and give the final signals to the press box side of the field only. And this move to a position in clear view typically only has to be a few steps. And don't take too long to get into position, though occasionally taking an extra second can help you compose yourself and think about what you're going to say. If you need that extra second, talking to the umpire or center judge and trying out the announcement to him or her typically helps. And then the last part, come to a complete stop before starting the announcement. Now let's have a look at some game film and see some actual examples. And since we're looking at penalty enforcement, we don't really care about the play or the call, the foul. All we care about is how we move, how we react afterwards. So here we have the flag. It's a dead ball foul, and there's a lot of walking. Now this is an unsportsmanlike conduct, so I'm actually okay with the center judge just conferring with the linesman to make sure that what we have. Notice the referee is just walking along. I realize we have radios, but it would be nice for the referee to already be over there so he doesn't have to rely on the radio working. And also the center judge is just walking very casually. We could be jogging, we could be running to speed this up a little bit. And one thing is how much time we actually save. Another thing is how we look, what we present on the field in terms of resolve and effectiveness. And here now, right there where the referee is right now, realize the TV cameras are on the opposite side, but right where he is right now is a perfect place for the cameras to pick him up. There's absolutely no reason to walk from the numbers all the way into the hash. That takes a lot of time, and it looks wrong. So he could just as well have done his announcement back where he got the information. And another thing is, now this is an unsportsmanlike conduct, so we do want to write in our game card what's going on. I noticed the umpire is writing now. Probably we could do that after the ball has been, the penalty has been enforced. So here we end up with the umpire just standing there. We could be enforcing the penalty right now, and whether the umpire does it or the center judge does it, you know, for expedience, you know, as long as it gets done and the umpire and center judge are working together, it doesn't really make a whole lot of difference who does it. So instead of waiting for the center judge to come in, give him the ball, you know, we could have enforced the penalty. We should have enforced the penalty while the referee was doing his announcement, so that once he's done with that, the ball is already in the proper place and we're good to go. So there are, again, it's a matter of how much time we spend, we use, but it's also a matter of how we look while we're doing it. Here's another example where we could be a little faster. We'll have a look at how and what that does. So we have a flag thrown by the umpire, and they get together pretty fast. Now, then we end up having to move the flag. Now, ideally, we should put the flag in the right position before we go report to the referee. That will save time and it'll look a lot better. And again, here the referee really is in good position right there to turn around and do his signal. There's no need to take these 10 extra steps before we get into the announcement. I do like that the penalty is being enforced while he does his signals, but again, move your flag before you go report, and as referee, just find the closest open area and do your announcement. On this play, it's 3rd and 10, and the umpire has a flag for holding against the offense. So it's either going to be 4th and 10 or 3rd and 20. So we've got good communication there, a little walking, and then a prelim. Now, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the coaches are already declining. But what we could do here is if we're lucky enough that we can get on the radios pretty quickly. For the sideline officials, it's always good once you hear the funny whistle to get to a coach. Now here at the bottom of the screen, the wing who's closest to the coaches, he goes straight into ball relay. And I would really prefer that we stay with the coaches. Now you could say that maybe it's the deep official's job, and if he can, he certainly will. Here he's probably 40 yards away. So maybe it's a better idea to stay with the coaches and leave the ball alone. Now we do have, if the wing stays with the coach, we still have a deep wing that can extraordinarily bring in the ball. We also have a back judge that can realize that that's what's needed right now, so that we can get the communication. Assume or let's say that the coach is not aware of what's going on, which sometimes happens. Now we need somebody on the sideline, or this would have taken a lot longer just to communicate with the coach, and the option may not be as obvious as here, so that we need more communication with the coach, and it's just nice to have somebody with the coach. See, the deep wing comes over here now, but now it's already too late. And then the last part is for the referee. From here, there's really no need to keep walking before you do the final announcement. So again, pick your spot and do your announcement right there. Try to avoid walking around too much. And for the sideline guys, let's make sure that as soon as we hear the funny whistles, go seek out the coach, so that we don't risk wasting any time with that communication. This play is a little similar to the previous one, where it's 3rd down. There's an offensive holding called, and the play is short of the line to gain. So now the offense has a decision to make. Do they want 3rd and long or 4th and short? So we really need to be quick on the sidelines to not put our referee in this situation. So they talk a little bit, that's fine. Now we end up with these signals where the referee looks uncertain of what he wants to do, because we don't have the information from the sideline, and that's a shame, because it's the referee that ends up looking like he doesn't know what's going on, because on the sideline we're not quick enough to communicate with the coaches. And for the referee, I would, especially now that we have radios, I would advise all referees to stay with the umpire and just use the radio to communicate to the sideline, and say, ask the coach if he wants 4th and short or 3rd and long, instead of going into these unofficial prelims and all this gesturing here, which just makes us look uncertain. And again, there's a little walking, but here now we're just end up looking uncertain, and then we go into holding offense, penalty declined, and then right there is really it's going to be fourth down, and we do have a signal for fourth down that is very different from third down, and there's a reason for that. That it's just a lot easier to see the difference between third and fourth down. So try not to make up your own signals, and try to use the official ones. In the last two examples, we're going to look at the triple check. So here the center judge gets the ball, he checks with the linesman. Right now they're in different positions. One is at the 47 and one is the 47 and the other is at the 46, but they end up going both from the previous spot, which is the 46. And they do a good job of going to the next spot independently of each other. And then they check with each other, everything is good, but then the center judge forgets to check with the line judge. And so this ends up being only a double check and not a triple check. So we really need to make sure that we do our process and get everybody involved. And you know, if for example, in this situation, the center judge forgets, it's perfectly fine for the line judge to just remind him, hey, remember to check with me before you spot the ball. We don't want the ball spotted until all three, and including the umpire, all four are in agreement that this is where the ball should be spotted, because we don't want a situation where we have to respot the ball. And here the line judge is also, you know, almost gets there late in terms of when we should when the ball is going to be snapped. So again, remember to do all three parts of the triple check, as we'll see in this next example. In this last example, we'll see a good triple check performed. We've got the center judge right there on the 40-yard line, and he's going to start marching the ball off, and I like the fact that he's not marching off the yards. He knows where he needs to go and he just runs there. And then he checks with the line judge, who's still at the enforcement spot, and they agree that this was the right number of yards. And then he checks out to see that the linesman is also at the right spot, and only then does he put the ball down. And that's how we want it done, so that we don't risk having to re-spot the ball. And all three are involved, and as soon as the ball is spotted, here comes the line judge running up. Everything just is done correctly and looks efficient. So well done. And that was this training tape. I hope you found something you can use on the field.